Welcome to the Intercourse Show. I'm your host, Mr. B. Today we have a very exciting show for you. Of course, we are talking relationship, especially on a late night tip. It's yours truly, Mr. B, back in the building. And we are discussing another great Kevin Samuels interview where he discusses with a 37-year-old modern woman who overvalues herself what she's doing wrong in the field when she asks him what is causing her not to find love. And of course, that's what she desperately wants. She wants to find love. She wants to find the right connections, but something is getting in the way, and I don't think she sees it. So that being said, we are about to jump into the show. Once again, I thank you guys for joining me, and we will react accordingly. I haven't seen this video yet. So as it goes on, we'll go ahead and react to it. So let's go ahead and do that.
Welcome back to Mental Groove. Tonight, a 37-year-old says she's dated high-value men and sees herself as a 10, but Kevin challenges her self-assessment and breaks down the reality. Let's get into it.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, first name. Good, what do you got for me? Mm-hmm. No,
I've
I
actually
would.
been to New York, and I've been stuck in traffic for about 45 minutes to an hour, but it was
I'm
like
co-
non-moving.
I'm coming to LA this weekend, and the thing is, here's the funny thing, Giovanna. I said the same thing about New York when my company asked me to move to because I thought I went back a few minutes. So for those of you who don't know, I used to be in telecommunications before the whole industry fell apart. I thought I was going to get promoted to the West Coast, LA. And then LA office got paused. So I thought I was going to go to Oakland, San Francisco. But that office got paused. They asked me, well, what do you think about New York? I had never visited New York. Here's how ignorant I was. I thought all the women in New York were going to be ugly. I thought the city was just, I thought it was, the worst parts of the Bible. I went up there on a Friday with my then girlfriend, and I'm looking around. I'm like,
with Framer, the things you design become real. Framer feels like a design tool, but it ships fast, modern websites. You can start from scratch, import from Figma, or choose from thousands of free and premium templates.
and I went up on a Friday. They offered me the job on Monday. I was living there on a Wednesday. And it's the first time I've ever felt legitimately at home. I was so wrong about New York. That told me that I should never make a decision. So when I go to LA, I'm going to be open. I'm going to go to Beverly Hills and Malibu, do all the bougie shit that I like to do, and see how it works. What you got for me? So I could easily be like, hey, you know what? All that shit I said about New York City. Yeah, I'm taking that other 5%. I'm going to LA
That's exactly why.
I've never lived in. Yeah, because I've lived in New York City before. I've never lived in LA, and the worst thing that could happen is I could try LA for a year, and if I don't like it, I could still go to New York.
Sweetheart, I'm not trying to discourage you. All you need is one day.
Well, now one thing I do know about LA is the women are gorgeous.
Well, first of all, listen, we have the 3 W's: the women, and the weather. So the middle part, you can figure it out.
All right, the weather. See, now, funny thing is, believe it or not, I'm a cold weather dude. So New York actually has better weather for me because I can't wait to pull out my coats and stuff. All that stuff be, well, I don't know. It was actually cooler in LA this week than it was in New York.
Well, to us, it's very cold.
So what do you got for me though? We just talking like ain't nobody watching. What's going on?
I apologize. I've dated high value men. I have no children.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in marriage. However, I'm scared. Does that make? I don't even know if I'm making.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It makes. Yeah, scared. Yep, certainly does.
My grandparents were married for 58 years plus. Mm-hmm. I see that. I want it.
Mm-hmm.
But their times were different back then. And the 2 men that I have in my head,
mm-hmm.
they both have kids.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, how old are you?
37. You look at me, you would not see it. And that's
Look, I was seeing somebody who was 37 and she was fine as she was in her 20s. So, look, man, just because I say danger zone and no man's land.
Oh, no, I don't get offended.
I'm talking to my audience. I'm talking to the audience because I'm just saying because it's for the show. But okay, the two guys, do you have anybody that's considering proposing to you?
Both of them. And listen, it's because I feel that I have more to offer to them. And it's because I come to the table with no listen, kids are a big deal.
So,
and I really
do you feel like you're equally yoked to these guys? Okay, see what I'm getting from you.
Can't find a man with no kids.
So what I'm getting from you is you feel like you're. What I'm hearing from you is they're getting a better deal than you are. That's what I'm getting from you. Is that the truth?
That's kind of how I feel because I don't have any kids. They don't have to deal with no baby daddy.
Let's stop. Let's stop right here. Let me back some things down. Are you seeing both of these men seriously?
No.
Okay.
No, listen, I've known one since I was basically a kid. And we're not in that type of space.
Okay, well, let's talk about the one.
I'm actively. Okay.
Okay, I gotta get on down the path though. So I'm trying to get what I need. Are you dating not the one that you knew since you was a kid? Number 2, are you actively dating him?
Yes.
How long have you been actively seeing him?
1 year.
Okay. Is he live in LA with you?
Correct. Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I'm building my own business, but I am in the restaurant industry. I'm a server.
All right. What does he do for a living?
He had his own mortgage company. He used to work for Disney. He was an executive. He's actually building his own.
All right. So he out-earns you. He out-earns you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me back you down on a few things because while you may be all the great things you're saying, ma'am, I used to be a server, but I was a server after I got my degree in engineering and was an engineer. And to hear a woman say that you feel like because they got kids, you're getting an unfair deal when he's a former executive and you're a server is crazy to me. Crazy. You're overvaluing yourself, ma'am. Just from that alone. Does that make sense?
I can understand where you're coming from, Mr. Samuel.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Dress size?
I would jump. Let me not do that because I'm 6, even though I want to be a 4.
Okay, how much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
132, and I was not happy. I want to be 125.
All right. So if you had to give yourself a rating, fresh face out of the shower, no wig, no weave, no whatever, what would you give yourself? And you cannot use 7.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell your house for any reason, click the link in this video to see if my...
Well, see, ladies, that's who you are, though, ladies. That's who you are. What would you give yourself? No, you can't use 7.
I can't use a 7. That is my number.
Exactly.
That is no.
That's why I take it away.
What would you give yourself without?
No, ma'am, I'm not. No.
I'm teasing you. I'm being.
And thing is, and even if I gave myself a 4, my bank account's a 9.5.
I have a question. What are we basing the scale on? No, I mean, I do have clear skin.
Man, just give me a ballpark.
If you say not 7, then 7.5.
Nope, you can't use 7s at all, man.
6 3/4.
Okay. See, and is that a LA 6?
Why wouldn't it be? I don't
know. I mean, I'm asking because a 6 in LA is different. And what I'm asking, ma'am, a 6 makes you cute. Okay? And a 5 makes you average, which means just like half the people in this world are average. A 6 makes you a little bit more than it's cute, but
I just feel that brains is more of it. You know,
it doesn't. No, but you're not a no. See, that's bullshit. No, okay, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Okay, so you're already starting to see that this conversation is about to go off the rails. Why? Because she's not really taking it that serious. I think she's letting her personality come out. Nothing wrong with being personable, but we just did a show yesterday where we talked about how sometimes a lot of these older women, they're not really of age in terms of maturity wise, right? So he's trying to have a serious conversation based on the fact that she's saying she's looking for a serious high value man and can't quite figure out why she's not being chosen. But Kevin Samuels is saying, wait, let's assess it. Let's get, your numbers. Let's figure out what's going on. She tells him, hey, I don't have no kids, and that should make me appealing. That should definitely, sort of put me on top of the list from other women who's got baggage. And he's now trying to break it down. Like, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's other factors that men look at. And one of the things that you're starting to see is just the communication. She's not even taking some of the things that he's talking about seriously, which is likely to, like aggravate Kevin Samuels, because it just kind of gives him the impression that she's not serious. And so, most men, especially when you're 37, they want you to be a bit more serious about the things that matter. It's good to have a personality and all these things. And I like her personality. She's a pretty lady, but now we're getting down to the reasons why she's not yet been chosen. And you're already starting to see that there's a part of her that seems like she's trolling a little bit more so than really on there to get advice, or maybe she just wants to be seen. She just wants the attention. And it probably doesn't serve her well in terms of how the conversation may go, given the fact that she's moving like that. So let's go ahead and see what he says next. Ooh.
Listen.
No, you listen. You can't overtalk me. It's still my show. Even if you're a fan, but that doesn't work. And
yes, sir,
the thing is, you need to understand something. What you think doesn't matter when it comes to us.
Got it.
Beauty matters to us. Men are visual. And you ladies always want to change the game to benefit you. It works the way it works because that's who we are as human animals. 8 is Beyonce, 9 is Kelly Rowland, 10 would have been Halle Berry in her prime. So if you're a 6, that makes you cute. Thelma, remember Thelma on Good Times? She was a 7. So
no. Then dag nabbit, I'm a 10. What the?
Oh, no, you're not a 10 because you'd already been married with kids by now. So
I've never been married.
But the thing, because you ain't no damn 10. You can call yourself what you want.
I live in LA.
Now I'm gonna tell you right now, you're on the verge of getting muted.
Different.
You're on the verge of getting muted because here's the thing is, if you were a 10 in LA, 10s aren't servers at 37. Let me just go ahead and put it right. If you're a 10, somebody would have put you on the payroll by now. You'd have been a kept woman. You'd have been you'd have been the side piece to one of the multiple millionaires in LA if you were a 10. You're not that. Ma'am, let's get back to reality. You're close to 40 and a server. That's true. That means there's no retirement plan. There's no long history of earnings.
May I please stop you, Mr. Samuels?
No, because unless you're going to tell me you went to college and had some sort of career.
No, it's.
Do you come from money?
My mother has 4 college degrees.
I don't care shit what your mama have. Man, how much money do you have saved for retirement?
I just made a $27 ebook in 2 minutes using AI. Watch how I did it so you can do it too. Here I am.
My retirement is for my business.
How much money do you have saved for retirement?
Oh, not as much as I should.
How much money do you have saved for retirement?
My business.
Okay, ma'am. Now it's starting to become more clear. See, I need you to slow down. Yes, I'm talking to a woman who's almost 40 years old, and I spoke to a woman in California like yourself earlier this week. She was 39. Mm-hmm. Just bopping through life like nothing, no big deal, like you got all the time in the world. Ma'am, you are a server. That's a fancy word for a waitress.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. It means look, at 50 years, do you have medical insurance?
Absolutely.
Great. Do you own your own condo?
No, I do not own any property. I'm not
do you
gonna
own your own
property in
car?
California.
Do you own your
I
own car?
Property in another
Do
state.
you own your own car?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
So
sir, I
if
have
you have to live for the rest of your life and be unmarried, you'll be living basically like most people in this country, paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck, stacking little aside because LA is expensive. When 50 years old happens and medical bills and things start happening, then life kicks in. No children, no husband. Who's going to help when you can't work like you're doing? And the business you're planning on opening, 80% of the new businesses fail inside the first 5 years. So we only can count what you have. Who's going to help if you need? Who's going to assist you if you need any help at 50?
Mr. Samuels, I'm aware that I have myself. I'm definitely aware.
But if you fall ill, something happens, you break an ankle like I did on the bicycle race, who's going to help?
Life insurance.
Life insurance is life insurance, ma'am. Ma'am, if you broken ankle puts you out for 12 weeks at 50 years old. Who can help you? Who can come take you back and forth to the doctor, come around the house? I mean, do you have the money to take care of that?
Not the way that I would think.
Then listen, man. Then this is why I'm not listening to what you have to say, because all you want to tell me is how it's not that big a deal. And this is what I need the audience and you to understand. This is sad. This is sad that Black women are the most vulnerable people in this country because of this. Because you need a man in your life to go through life with, because one income, one person is a disaster waiting to happen. Everything has to happen okay. You have to maintain good health, never get sick, never get ill, never have anything. And your job right now depends on you showing up. You don't go to work, you don't make money. That is the life so many Black women have. And you're talking about men who make far more than you, and ones that you said are looking at you seriously. And you're talking about a man having kids. That's crazy, man.
Mr. Samuels, everything has different circumstances, correct?
All that just went over your head. Look, ma'am. I just went over your head, ma'am. Look.
No, that's not true. Please, I'm listening.
Yeah, no, okay. What's the big deal about him having kids and you ain't got shit? A six who don't have shit. A waitress is a 6 who don't have shit. I mean, I have to go there. I have to say it that way so you are a 6 and a waitress at 40 who don't have shit. And you're saying a man who was an executive at Disney, you should be running to, oh my God. I don't care what he was. He still is making more than you.
Okay, folks, you are clearly seeing the distinction. Kevin is taking the gloves off. The last little segment there, it was a little hard to watch that because he's asking her real world questions and she's not really taking things seriously. And he has to keep asking the same questions until he can get her to realize, like, there is a danger in not being proactive with your relationship. You know what I'm saying? So if you are dating and you're close to 40 and you haven't given some thought as to whether or not you're dating intentionally, it gets exposed in conversations like this. Because let's just say she met somebody of value who was curious, as to why she maybe don't have kids and, didn't really decide to build a life or didn't get married and these things. Because men are logical people. We're trying to figure out, what's your judgment been up until the point that I met you? How do you make decisions? How do you think? And this exchange is exposing that she's kind of not, like being intentional with her life. She's kind of, a free spirit, kind of flowing with it and not as much like giving some thought to some of the questions he's asked. Like, what do you do if you have an emergency? What are your backup plans? What do you know what I mean? Like, and she brought up that her mother had certain degrees. Her mother having all these degrees doesn't guarantee her success in relationship. it was almost irrelevant as to why she would even say something like that. But she said it. And I think this is part of the things where sometimes we have to be real with each other and start having hard conversations. And I think this is where the importance of, a male figure in your life, or your father, or somebody who cares about you, is going to tell you the other side of the story, the male side of the story, so that you can try to get some insight as to how the man thinks. Because if you're kind of going based on information that you're getting from your girlfriends or from ladies, you're not always getting the male perspective. This is why I think Kevin Samuels was so instrumental, because he would give the male perspective, raw, unfiltered, and he would just tell them exactly what it was. He wouldn't mince words. And you're starting to see the tone of the conversation change, because he's getting real with her now. He's no longer, sort of catering to her ego. He's no longer trying to play nice. He's giving it the real to her.
He has more than you. And you're talking like, and what started this all off is I said, ma'am, you sound like a woman who thinks she's getting a bad deal. You think you are bringing more to the table than him. And I'm saying this to my audience. This is a black woman in Los Angeles who is a waitress and almost 40 years old and a 6 with this kind of attitude, when a man was a former executive and worked at Disney.
Do you know how much money I make as a waitress?
Do you make more than he does?
He lives with his mother. Yes, I do. He's not an executive anymore.
Now see how she changed it. When I asked, does he make more money than he did? All right, I'm done. All right. See,
working that nerve.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
That nerve is being worked.
Some people just have to be what they are. See how that worked? All this time, he was an executive. He did this and got that and has this. And now he lived with his mama. Yeah. All right. Ma'am, unmute yourself, please.
I'm here. Sorry.
Ma'am.
Yes, sir.
You just went from telling me this man out-earned you to now he's living with his mom. Okay, so why is he living with his mother?
I asked him that too, Mr. Samuels.
Is he broke? Is he broke? Okay, is he broke?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm about to cry about it because I don't know.
Why are you crying about the crime? Okay, how about you act like a grown-up? Ma'am, this is what you brought to me. You brought to me a man you've known since childhood who ain't, you said he...
No, please.
I know what I heard. You brought to me a man that you've known since you were a kid. And there's nothing going on between you two. And a man you said you've been seeing for a year.
Mm-hmm.
What is your ultimate point, ma'am? Because now I don't believe what you're telling me. How about this? Here's a better question. How come, since he's no longer worth a damn, how come you can't, since you're so much better than him, and I'll take that. Why can't you find a man on your level?
It seems like men out here aren't on that type of level. Everyone seems to have the same thing. It's, in my opinion.
What do you mean? What kind of level is that?
Single people are. I'm not an unhappy person.
No, ma'am. But ma'am, relationships or marriage is business. It ain't love. I'm trying to understand what level you're on. I mean,
well, I don't.
You're a 6 and a 40-year-old waitress. What level are you talking about,
sir?
Ma'am, that's what it is. I'm not trying to be rude, but that's what it is.
Being rude. I don't think you're being rude at all.
But what are you talking about? Your level?
I just have a fear of continuing on, and I'm going to be somewhere that in my life that I'm not just going to be able to have anyone. And I feel like I should choose someone now.
You don't have any
and just
options.
Continue
man.
on with the business.
Okay, I know what you're talking about, ma'am. You said who are your options? Who are you seriously seeing?
I'm seriously dating the individual I told you, the
Right,
former.
the guy who all of a sudden now lives with his mama. Okay, so if you don't choose him, what are your other options?
Someone else that I was dating prior. But then there's also other people as well, because I don't, but like I said, I'm a little guarded because I don't.
Okay, man. All right, ma'am. All right, ma'am. All right, ma'am. Look, the person you said, I think you may be a perfectly reasonable person, but you're sounding kind of deluded.
I don't mean to.
Well, but the thing is, ma'am, you can only play with the cards that are in your deck. And ma'am, I need you to understand that at 37 years old, it is unusual for someone to be a server. I mean, you should have had more stable employment in a career. Most of the time people do this is because they have a, let's just say it, a very bohemian or flighty kind of personality. And you were going to tell me how much you make annually? It's what?
It's nowhere near what these gentlemen.
What do you make?
Nowhere near what they
What do you make?
40 on a good day.
$40,000
annually.
$40,000 annually in LA is $20,000 in Atlanta. $10 an hour. You are broke. And Ryan Preston, who said she feels that that she is bringing more to the table or getting a raw deal. Ma'am, you will be fortunate to have somebody who would be willing to even go 50-50 with you for the rest of your life at your age and your attitudinal disposition. You need a reality check. And let me be the one to give it to you. You don't bring that much to the table. As a woman who lives herself a 6 in LA as a waitress, you're massively overvaluing yourself.
You made me give myself a 6.
No, I asked you what you, no, ma'am, you ain't that fine. And that's the thing.
Sir, that's not fair.
It is fair. It is fair. Well, you can put your camera on right now. Put it on. Get on the camera right now then. Just cam up. Cam up since it ain't that fair. Cam the fuck up.
It's not.
Cam the fuck up. Shut up and cam up. You grown child.
I run 17 companies inside a $200 million portfolio, and I see $2 to $5 million companies become $10 to $20 million.
Listen what she just said. It's not a 40-year-old child.
Oh my God.
God ain't got nothing to do with this. This is your problem.
No, I know.
And the problem is we got too many women like you walking around thinking you're more than you are when your life has told you, ma'am, you don't have high value men, productive, competitive, successful men who are worth a damn coming to try to holler at you. The best you have is some guy you said used to be an executive at Disney or something like that, but now he's living with his mama. Well, that's about all you can get. That should tell you kind of where you rank. So maybe if you start pulling your level down and start worrying about kids and this other kind of stuff as if you are something you are not, and got reasonable and said, I would just be happy to find a guy who's working for the city or a postman or a plumber or something, somebody who I can split these bills with because I'm broke as French toast. I don't even know how long you been living with your mother?
Excuse me? How long has who's been living with whose mama?
At 40 years, you're making $40,000 in LA. Where do you live?
I don't live with my mother.
Who do you live with?
I definitely rent.
Oh, excuse me. I mean, 40 years old in LA, ma'am. And since you want to cap like that, I'm like, minimum wage in LA is what?
I don't know. I think it's 13, but I don't make that.
Okay. No, you don't. But if you made 13, if you made 13 at one job and went got a part-time job, made enough. See, $13 an hour was $26,000 a year. And if you went and got a part-time job, 60 hours, you'd still be making $40,000 a year. You're effectively making minimum wage. And this all got started because of the issues you're talking about and the guys you're dealing with. And don't worry about having kids and nothing, ma'am. All those things are outside of your what you need to be dealing with. Honestly, if you have any kind of benefits or anything like that, I would suggest therapy, because it sounds like there's some things that really aren't making sense to me. But you don't have these kind of options. No one's beating down your door to try to date you or actively, not that you want anyway. The kind of men that you would want ain't trying to holler at you. And that should be an indication that something needs to be addressed. Got it?
I do.
Okay, so that was hard to watch. You know what I mean? Kevin Samuels, it really had to kind of pull the veil back and explain to this young lady. One, she's in a relationship with a guy at present. The same guy she's in a relationship with, she originally presented him to Kevin as if he was a former executive for a very reputable company. She said to Kevin that the man made more money than her. He was a high value man. So she said that to paint herself in the light of a person that can pull in a man of high stature. I think she was saying that for that point. Then she said the guy lives at home with his mother and she makes more money than him. So she went from telling the story where in one scenario, the guy's this high value man that she was able to bring in. So she's attractive enough to get a guy like that. She thought she was a 10. So then upon further conversation, that story changes to he's living at home with his mama. I'm making more money than him. Then she's got all these criteria about what men she believes are beneath her. That's not on her level. That was a term she used. These men are not on my level. And then Kevin had to ask her, what exactly is your level? You're 37, you work as a waitress for a company, and you're acting as if you're balling out of control, but you make like $40,000, which is not any type of money to scoff at. She works hard and deserves, her pay. But in LA, where the cost of living is high, that's scaving along the lines of poverty. So what exactly is your level is the question that Kevin Samuels asked her. You're probably overlooking good guys that can help to increase your household income simply because you believe you're on a level that deserves a higher level, higher earning guy. But you clearly are not bringing that in. Meaning like those higher level guys aren't attracted to you. And we can kind of see a little bit of the reasons why. There's been throughout the conversation, Kevin had to tell her, act mature, act your age. It was almost like he was talking to a little girl or an immature woman. And that would be something that would reveal itself if she was having a conversation with a guy that is above her level, if you will. Because a lot of times when guys make that type of money, they tend to have a good idea as to how they want their life to go and the type of person they want in their life. And to me, this was a person who constantly shifted the narrative for the sake of not looking bad on screen. It would have been different if she came into the conversation saying something to the effect of, hey, you know, I'm a older woman with a good heart. I'm trying to find a man that I can make better. Unfortunately, I haven't really found somebody that I believe is my match, my soulmate, and I'm open to that. Here's all the things that I bring to the table, you know, more in a humble posture. But she came in a bit boastful and thinking that she was more valuable than she actually was. And it's under a lot of cross-examination that you start to see a different story. To the point now where he's like, well, the reason you with a guy who's living at home with his mother is because that's what you can attract. That's the best you can do. That's the harsh reality. And that's what takes the conversation into a somber mode, because that's why she's calling his show in the first place, because on her own, she's not bringing in the guy she thinks is on her level. She's bringing a guy that still lives at home with his mother. And it's true what he said. Sometimes things will level check you. Life will level check you. You know what I mean? And put things into the proper perspective, especially if you don't have the ability to do it. Life will tell you. You know what I mean? I've been humbled many a times in my life. And sometimes you just got to take it on the chin and accept, like, oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing, God. You got it. You know what I mean? This time, I think it came in the form of a conversation that she had with Kevin Samuels. He had to explain to her, like, yo, baby girl, you're a pretty girl. You probably got a lot going for yourself, but you're not exactly bearing the right mindset that would make you appealing to a guy who's taking life seriously. You know what I mean? Like, this, to me, any man who really takes this on is kind of going to have to babysit this lady. She doesn't seem like she's mature in a way, or serious in a way that any serious person would need her to be. But this is where we at. Let's see his final thoughts on it.
Well, men cannot live in that level of delusion. We just can't. Look, ladies, Frankenstein's monster, trying to get it all from one place, from different sources. But a lot of you really going to just have to, you know, real world interventions are going to be needed with a lot of American women, and especially a lot of sisters. Brokenness. I am hearing far too many women over 35 who are broken. That's why there's this delusional thinking. And
making how-to videos used to take me hours. I'd record, mess up, start over, and edit.
No one thinks that the wheel is going to stop. At what point you will be sick, injured, something. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't care about love. I care about respect more than anything else. Seems as though people don't like the next ex-wife thing. I said this on Instagram. You know, rotation dating and all that's fine. That's fine. But truly high value men, productive, competitive, successful men, they don't have rotations of 5, 6, 7. You know, at best, you need a serious relationship and then date 2 or 3 people. Honestly, guys, 2 or 3 people. Pick the one you want to deal with and make sure that she realizes you picked her. As long as she's on your program, you're working together, but you need to give her standards and things that you expect to be done for having the #1 spot. And she needs to be compensated as the #1 player. You get one person, people. You don't see millionaires and billionaires with 3 and 4 and 5 people. You pick one. And the thing that terrifies so many women about picking one is you feel like, well, if I pick him, I could have had him and I could have had him. And all along, makes you less desirable for anything. Broken. Whole people don't feel like they need to hedge and protect themselves and guard themselves and keep their options open. And also, whole people don't do that. Broken people want to keep their options open and keep it safe and play it light and keep it cool and da-da-da-da-da. That shit is for teens, early 20s. But by 25 years old, that should be out of your system. But far too many, in this case, Black women, you are living life between the age of 25 and 40 as if you did still in your 20s. You have not emotionally matured. That's why, like I said, this whole...
I'm a PhD.
It's so funny because you hear so many women who have, like Claudia said, you can commit to your career, your degree path, your job. You are professional. They're on the spot, hardworking, all this other kind of stuff. But you cannot commit to the most important thing in life, a family, a man. And it is time to start calling it out. 80% of the relationship falls on you because it is your job to maintain it. It's our job to start it and fund it. It's your job to maintain it. It is not my job. These guys' job to make you happy wife, happy life is a fiction. It is your job to maintain the home, your job to maintain the family. Even if there are no family, no kids, it's still your job to maintain what I bring. I bring the meat, you cook it. And so many of you women know when it gets right down to it, your skills for maintenance are trash. Let that be a lesson. Say no further. Decide to do something because more and more men are starting to step up and say, okay, cool, forget it. Yep. Because 80% of the guys want something. And if you're not that woman, what are you expecting to do? Expecting to wait for you forever? I am seeing more and more women who are on the bridge, on the precipice of either moving forward like the first caller or staying stuck like so many before. It is a choice. But living life in fear, guarded, cold, slow, aloof, you may feel like it makes you secure, gives you power, keeps you safe, but it does nothing. It's tragedy. It is sad. Shout out to the Roommates Podcast, The Tragedy of the Independent Woman. It is sad because no other race in this country like Black women have bitten this pill. White women will get in line with their men. Hispanic women will get in line with their men. Asian women will get in line with their men. Middle Eastern women will get in line with their men. Black women stand by themselves with their damn dogs, their girlfriends, their broken relationships, their opinions, and an inability to work with a man. Ladies, you're not special. You are judged by the kind of man you can acquire, keep, and work with. That's worldwide. You cannot come into the company function with bits and pieces of 8 different men. And the fact of the matter is, many of you want a thorough man, but Stefan said it better than I could. Thorough men demand that you level up. They demand it. And if it's overwhelming, if you get scared, if when you're in the presence of a man who's transparent, upfront, direct, purposeful, it's not because he was too clingy or too much too soon or whatever. No. You're broken. How many times have you heard that, women in the chat room, fellas? How many times have you heard women say that? Oh, well, he came on too fast and this or that. You're not 20. How many times are women, 6 months or less, you should get married. But then you hear the very same woman, oh, he came on too fast, he worked too fast, he started freaking me out, I got this. Just say, I ain't got my shit together.
This conversation is all about self-perception versus reality. She comes in confident, says she's dated high value men, believes in marriage, but admits she's scared. That fear is important because it already suggests hesitation when it comes to commitment. Then she mentions the men she's considering both have kids, but she feels like she has more to offer than them. That's where Kevin flips it. From his perspective, if those are the men in her current pool, then that's her level of options right now, not necessarily below her. Another key moment is when she says she's not really serious with one, but is actively dating the other. That shows a lack of clarity. You can't be halfway in and expect a clear outcome. Then comes the biggest point. She rates herself a 10. Kevin challenges that hard. His logic is simple. If she truly was operating at that level in the dating market, the outcomes would likely reflect it, especially at 37. So for him, the issue isn't just confidence, it's overestimation. The tension in the conversation comes from that gap, how she sees herself versus what her results are showing. Kevin's brutal reality angle is really about alignment. Confidence is good, but if it's not grounded in results or feedback from the real world, it can lead to frustration. The takeaway, how you see yourself, has to match what your results are showing. If there's a gap, that's where the real work is.
Now, this is why we built our deal calculator, trusted and used by over 20,000.
So there you have it. Shout out to Mental Groove for making the video. Definitely great commentary to summarize that point of view. The last 3 or 4 minutes of the video where Kevin just kind of went on a monologue really kind of tells it all, man. It does summarize it. And this is something that happens in our community where our sisters feels like they have to do it alone. They have to stand alone. They have to somehow be in competition with their men. So much so they feel like they're better than their men, that they can't work with the men that they have. It's always this aspirational thing of something better than what you currently have. And I think it exposes the fact that there's really at its core, you overvaluing yourself because you have not sat down to take the time to assess what is the cost of me being wrong? What is the cost of me assuming that things are going to work on my timeline, work on my schedule, work according to my wish list? And if I'm wrong, what happens next? And that's what he says. You know, you end up being alone and potentially getting a pet, a dog, or a cat of some sort, and you don't have the companionship. And in life, when you get older, and as it matters more when you need a partner, because, you know, your health ends up being an issue, and, you know, you need to have the companionship, the relationship. And there are relationship skills that we need to learn in terms of how we need to tolerate and compromise with each other. And as long as there's a mindset of the next best thing, you're never going to get, you know, at least something. You end up with nothing, right? Again, managing our expectations. It's not something that's just with women. Men have to do it too. Men have to assess, like, look, you know, I can't be 100% right all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta be willing to be transparent, be vulnerable, and, you know, compromise with my woman. I can't, you know, be overbearing. I gotta be reasonable, right? But at the same time too, you know, most men don't overestimate themselves to the point where they feel like certain women are beneath them, right? A man will be happy with a woman. You don't see a lot of men like, well, she's not a 10, she's not Beyonce, or she's not this person. I can't do it. That's not the majority of men. Most men, you know, they just want a companion. They want somebody that cares for them. They want somebody they can rely on, and they'll compromise a lot of their wants. They'll overlook weights. They'll overlook what you do for a living. They'll overlook whether or not you got a degree or not, whether you're college educated, high school educated. They overlook so much because they just want to come to the table and work with somebody. But for a lot of women, especially of this day, modern women, they've been told this lie that you can have it all. You can have it according to your wish list. And it's not to say that you're not supposed to have standards. You're not supposed to have, you know, expectations of a good person that makes you happy and that treats you well. That's not an unreasonable expectation. But the whole, is he 6'6"? Is he 6 feet? Does he make six figures? You know, is he, you know, packing? You know what I mean? Like all these like wish list things. And it's like, yeah, some women can command that, right? But the reality is most women don't command that. And if you put yourself in a certain category of women and you think that you're, you know, 300-400 pounds and you think you're going to command what you're getting that from the Victoria's Secret model, it's just the reality check has to be given to you that, you know, like it's, you know, a lot of those men that the Victoria's Secret model is attracting is not looking for 300-400 pound women to wife up. Is it shallow? Maybe. Okay, you got it. It is. But men have their preferences too, in the same way that women have their preference, and they don't prefer a woman who's super strong-headed that they have to combat with, and that's unreasonable in her estimation of herself, and you know, got all these demands but never any concessions. You know what I mean? She never concedes to anything. So him saying that is actually a message of love. It's actually a message that's meant to be constructive. This is not to you know, break people or to hurt people or to make someone feel insignificant. That I don't get that from the tone. I get a person who's trying to explain to, you know, our sisters, look, be reasonable. Be reasonable in your estimation of yourself. Be willing to work with your partner. Don't, you know, put your nose up at a man that's possibly a good man, but that may not fit your criteria of high value men, right? Actually be approachable. Actually be, you know, willing to cooperate with the man. Actually come in with the proper attitude. Don't be immature. You know what I mean? Like, be mindful, be considerate, be respectful. And that's one of the areas that I do believe that we can get better at, you know, just respecting each other. Your man may not be, you know, Elon Musk, but if he's a good man who's willing to put his life up, who's willing to stand in the gap to help you, who's willing to be there for you, who's willing to show up for you, who's willing to help you take care of your responsibilities, who's willing to do the journey with you, he's better than what you got, which is nothing. So work with him. You know what I mean? That's the story. That's my point of view. Hopefully, you know, you guys find some hidden gems in it, something constructive that you could take and that you can apply in your day-to-day life. That being said, I thank you guys for joining me today. I thank you for, you know, sticking into the show and hearing, you know, the feedback. You know, rest in peace to the late great Kevin Samuels. He definitely was a force for good in my view. Obviously, not everybody's cup of tea, but the things that he said and the things that I think he stood for was meant to be constructive. He wanted people to be in relations with each other because he doesn't want to see people dying alone or, you know, broken homes or, you know, the statistics are not showing great things for our community. You know what I mean? In terms of this divisiveness that exists between the two of us. So, you know, it's better for us to find reasons to come together versus reasons to stay apart. And sometimes it's just the mindset is just managing your expectations as to what's reasonable, what's not. And I think Kevin Samuels, you know, was definitely a person who pioneered a conversation about where we are. And we just need to come to the table and actually reasonably compromise with one another. And sometimes it starts with some hard conversations, some reality check moments, which we saw here in this episode. But, you know, we shared our opinions. I definitely invite you to like and subscribe and stay connected to the show so you can share your opinion and also be kept in the loop as to how we're thinking about each other. So feel free to leave your comments, like and subscribe, share this message, share this video. And again, you know, remain prayerful. You know, a lot of the advice that I'm giving, I would like to think is rooted in some sort of biblical principles. So I always encourage people to seek God, and God's not gonna lie to you. He's gonna tell you the truth about whatever it is you think you are, right? He will humble you in very real ways. And I would always encourage people to put God first, and he's interested in seeing you succeed. And so, sometimes those moments on your knees praying to God is going to help, reveal the truth about, where you are and the decisions you made to get you there. So start there and make the little tweaks, make the changes. And, I think it will ultimately work out in your favor. All right, guys, that's it for me. I appreciate y'all so much, actually. I'm sorry. Stay up and be blessed till we speak again. Bye.